Welcome to the CISO Daily Update.
More than 450,000 hit by JPMorgan breach. JPMorgan Chase disclosed a data breach affecting over 450,000 customers' sensitive personal and financial information. The breach stemmed from a vulnerability in a third-party system supporting JPMorgan's employee benefits services in August 2021, enabling unauthorized access by employees of the vendor and a client company. Exposed data included names, addresses, social security numbers, bank account details, payment information, and potentially credit-debit card data. While there are no confirmed reports of misuse, JPMorgan urged impacted individuals to remain vigilant against potential fraud or identity theft resulting from this exposure. Ex-NSA employee sentenced to 22 years for trying to sell U.S. secrets to Russia. Jara Sebastian Dalkey, a former NSA employee, was sentenced to nearly 22 years in prison for attempting to sell classified documents to Russia. Despite a short tenure with the agency, Dalkey made contact with an individual he believed to be a Russian agent but was an FBI undercover agent. He shared snippets of top-secret documents and demanded $85,000. Dalkey was arrested after transferring files to the supposed spy and pleaded guilty to the crime, admitting to transmitting files with the intent to harm the U.S. and benefit Russia. U.S. charges 16 over depraved grandparent scams. 16 individuals from the Dominican Republic to the U.S. faced charges in the U.S. for orchestrating a sprawling grandparent scam that targeted elderly Americans across multiple states. The scam involved call center workers impersonating relatives in distress, such as children or grandchildren, to convince victims to send money for fake emergencies like car accidents or legal troubles. The accused, aged between 21 and 59, played various roles from initiating the scam calls to posing as lawyers or law enforcement officials to further deceive victims. The operation allegedly laundered millions of dollars through wire transfers and bulk cash transactions. Each defendant faces up to 20 years in prison and significant fines if convicted. Carmakers lying about requiring warrants before sharing location data, Senate probe finds. A Senate investigation revealed that most major automakers share drivers' location data with law enforcement without a warrant, despite publicly pledging through industry associations to require court orders before disclosing such sensitive data. Only 5 out of 14 carmakers were found to mandate warrants, while others acknowledged providing location data with just subpoenas. Several companies also retain location histories for up to 15 years. Senators Ron Wyden and Ed Markey called these practices deceptive and a violation of voluntary privacy principles, urging the FTC to investigate automakers for misleading consumers about their data sharing and retention policies. Bitcoin forensic analysis uncovers money laundering clusters and criminal proceeds. A collaboration between Elliptic and researchers from the MIT-IBM Watson AI Lab uncovered clusters associated with illicit activity and money laundering in a 26 gigabytes dataset of Bitcoin transactions. The analysis uses machine learning to detect patterns of criminal proceeds and illicit behavior, including identifying wallets linked to a Russian darknet market and a Panama-based Ponzi scheme. Further research aims to enhance the accuracy of detection techniques and expand analysis to other blockchains. New Cuttlefish malware infects routers to monitor traffic for credentials. A new malware called Cuttlefish is infecting enterprise-grade and SOHO routers, creating a proxy or VPN tunnel to silently monitor and steal authentication information from passing traffic. While similar to the hiatus rat malware, there are no confirmed links between them. Cuttlefish has been active since July 2023 and primarily targets Turkey, but has spread to other regions. To protect against it, organizations should strengthen device credentials, monitor for unusual logins, secure traffic with TLS SSL, and inspect devices for abnormalities. SOHO router users should regularly reboot devices, update firmware, change default passwords, and block remote access to management interfaces. ZLoader malware evolves with anti-analysis trick from Zeus banking Trojan. ZLoader malware, a descendant of the Zeus banking Trojan, has resurfaced with new anti-analysis capabilities. Version 2.4.1.0 introduces a feature that prevents execution on machines different from the original infection. ZLoader now employs RSA encryption and updated domain generation algorithms. Its anti-analysis mechanism relies on a unique registry key and value, which enables it to terminate itself if copied to another machine post-infection. This indicates the evolution of the malware's stealthy approach and the challenge it poses for detection and analysis. Threat actors are actively leveraging fake websites and email-based phishing campaigns to propagate ZLoader. CISA says GitLab account takeover bug is actively exploited in attacks. CISA issued a warning about an actively exploited GitLab vulnerability, CVE 2023-7028, allowing attackers to take over accounts via password resets. The flaw, affecting GitLab Community and Enterprise editions, enables threat actors to send reset emails and hijack accounts. While systems with two-factor authentication are safe, patching is critical where accounts are not protected. CISA ordered federal agencies to secure their systems by May 22nd. Private organizations using GitLab should also patch promptly and check for signs of compromise if not already patched. Postman API testing platform flaw exposes sensitive credentials. Truffle Security Co. uncovered a critical vulnerability in Postman, the popular API testing platform, exposing over 4,000 active credentials and making it one of the largest sources of leaked secrets. Live secrets from 183 SaaS and cloud providers, including industry giants, were discovered on the platform. Developers and organizations are urged to review workspace settings, and Truffle Security offers a tool for scanning Postman workspaces to identify and mitigate potential risks. Postman may need to enhance its UI and taxonomy to help users understand the implications of public workspaces. To damage OT systems, hackers tap USBs, old bugs, and malware. Industrial cyber attackers are increasingly exploiting removable media like USB devices to breach air-gapped operational technology networks, then relying on old malware strains and known vulnerabilities to cause disruption or destruction. Honeywell's 2024 USB threat report reveals threat actors are leveraging USBs to physically cross air gaps, separating IT and OT systems, and gain initial access, a tactic that spiked during COVID-19. Once inside, they opt for living off the land techniques and dated but potent malware like Black Energy rather than advanced exploits, often with aims like data exfiltration and escalating privileges to achieve persistence. While low-tech, these USB-based attacks emphasize the need for strict removable media policies and security controls like dedicated media scanning stations to mitigate risks to critical industrial environments. 1 in 5 U.S. ransomware attacks triggers lawsuit. Nearly 1 in 5 ransomware incidents in the U.S. led to a lawsuit in 2023, with 123 cases filed so far, according to Carmakers. The main reason for these lawsuits is data breaches, which impacted over 283 million records across 355 attacks. Healthcare and finance sectors faced the most lawsuits, correlating with the highest volumes of breached records. Out-of-court settlements totaled over $245 million, with the largest being $8.7 million paid by Horizon Actuarial Services, LLC. Additionally, regulatory fines for ransomware-related failings reached nearly $10 million. DBIR. Vulnerability exploits triple as initial access point for data breaches. Verizon's 2024 Data Breach Investigations Report reveals a startling 180% increase in vulnerability exploitation as the initial access vector for data breaches between 2022 and 2023, now the third most common method after credential theft and phishing. This trend, partly driven by widespread exploitation of the Move It flaw and 0 days by ransomware groups, highlights the pressing need for timely patching, as organizations currently take a median of 55 days to address just 50% of critical vulnerabilities. The report also notes a 68% rise in software supply chain compromises and the continued prevalence of stolen credentials, which is 38% of breaches, and phishing, which is 15%. While non-malicious human error caused 68% of breaches, the blending of ransomware with extortion tactics into ramstortion incidents accounted for nearly a third of cases. Lawsuits and company devaluations await for breached firms. A new report from Netrix highlights the severe financial and reputational fallout organizations face from major cyber incidents, with 79% of surveyed firms detecting a serious attack in the past year. Significant costs included lost competitive advantage at 20%, decreased company valuations at 16%, lawsuits at 13%, customer churn at 14%, and leadership changes at 13%, with 45% incurring unplanned expenses post-breach. As a result, 62% currently have or plan to obtain cyber insurance within a year, though insurers are mandating robust identity and access management controls. Phishing remains the top attack vector at 74%, while cloud account compromises have spiked to impact over half of organizations, reinforcing the critical need for enhanced security measures to mitigate the impacts of modern cyber threats on businesses.
Thanks for listening. Remember to subscribe to our newsletter at CISOHeadlines.com. Until next time, stay curious.